Forget the world wars. Forget the Mongol hordes. This was the first great purge, a hidden global conflict that almost erased an entire gender. We're talking about the 95% massacre. A time when the effective male population of the old world was slashed, not by plague, but by the relentless surgical brutality of other men. Genetic forensic analysts dug not into dirt and stone, but into our own biological code. They found a black hole in our past, a massive, devastating drop in Y-chromosome genetic diversity around 7,000 years ago, during the late Neolithic period. Imagine the human family tree. Every male lineage is a branch. Suddenly, 95% of those branches are not just trimmed, they are sawed off at the trunk. This genetic collapse was massive, yet the female lineage was fine. Mitochondrial DNA, passed from mother to daughter, showed no such collapse. Two different paths, one massive, deadly bottleneck. While the female genetic path was a wide, meandering river, the male path became a desperate, endangered trickle. This wasn't natural selection. This was gender-specific decimation. The math is chilling. Some researchers estimate that, in some regions, women may have outnumbered men 17-1 after this purge. But the physical evidence is even darker. But why did this gender-specific purge happen? The answer is the key to both life and death, and it's tied to the horrifying truth about the most famous Neolithic cult, the skull-cleaving cannibals who spit-roasted their victims. The ground itself began to give up the secrets the DNA had screamed about. Across Europe alone, archaeologists have identified over 250 mass grave sites from this short, brutal period. The sheer scale is staggering. Take the Talheim death pit in Germany. 34 victims, dumped like garbage into a trench around 5000 BC. What the scientists found was terrifying. None of the bodies showed defensive injuries. No broken forearms, no blocked blows. These people weren't fighting, they were fleeing. The brutal attacks came from behind, a sudden, merciless ambush. And then there's Herxheim. This site is the ultimate proof of a calculated, organized reign of terror. At least 1,500 victims systematically processed with the chilling efficiency of a slaughterhouse. This wasn't a sudden ambush. This was the work of Neolithic skull cultists. They didn't just kill. They dismembered the bodies, cleaved the skulls to remove the brains, removed the tongues, and practiced ritual cannibalism. The bodies were even spit-roasted over fires. This level of violence wasn't just about territory, it was about terror and extermination. The result was a lifespan for Neolithic humans that plummeted to a measly 20 to 33 years, the lowest in modern human history. But the real terror is this. Up to 85% of fatal attacks leave no visible trace on the bones, meaning the archaeological record dramatically undercounts the true level of violence. Why did this purge happen now? The answer is the Neolithic Revolution. Two different paths, one deadly destination. While hunter-gatherer societies were mobile and small, the advent of agriculture changed everything. It created massive, settled populations, and it created the ultimate loot. Guaranteed food stores, guaranteed land, and reproductive resources. Women. This stability allowed for the organization of large armies and created patrilineal clans, where lineage and power were tied exclusively to the father's Y chromosome. This made that single genetic path a massive target. When a clan was wiped out, its entire lineage vanished with it. Now, contrast this catastrophic loss of genetic diversity with the most successful genetic dominance in history, Genghis Khan. His lineage is estimated to be carried by about 1 in 200 men across Asia today, an unprecedented gain, contrasting the Neolithic's unprecedented loss. Two extreme moments in history, both dramatically warping the global male genome. Another hypothesis suggests a less bloody but equally final process, lineal fission. As patrilineal clans grew, they would peacefully split into smaller groups. These smaller groups, isolated and less diverse, became genetically vulnerable. A few bad harvests, a local disease outbreak, and the entire lineage would simply fade away. No war, just a slow death. But the physical evidence of mass graves makes the violence explanation terrifyingly persuasive. The most likely truth is that both forces were at work. The rise of patrilineal clans created the perfect, vulnerable genetic structure. The rise of organized agriculture provided the motive and the means for the unprecedented, targeted violence that followed. The violent clans simply out-reproduced and exterminated the peaceful ones. The legacy of the Neolithic bottleneck remains etched into the DNA of some modern populations. Today, we live in the most peaceful period in human history. But just beneath the surface of your DNA, the ghost of that first global war still echoes. We are the descendants of the survivors. Every single one of us carries the silence of the 95% who were erased.